in the video surrounded by a bunch of choppers. You're the Canadian chopper slinger now.
Oh my God.
You the Toronto trigger squeezer now.
This guy's great.
Not in your mix. We're not in your mix. Like, ever. We never want to be in your mix. We don't want.
We don't want to party with you.
We don't want to party with you. We don't want anything from you. Half the time we don't even like your makeup. So it's like,
He doesn't just not understand black culture. He doesn't understand any culture, because why does he have a video where he's got a bunch of guns laid out in front of him? Like he's got, mob ties, but he's currently trying to deal with that problem.
Welcome back to your daily dose of scandal and glamour. Let's spill the tea on today's hottest drama. Wait, what? Drake just upped the stakes and pulled real guns in his latest music video, sending a wild shot straight at Kendrick Lamar. And instead of bouncing back from that brutal L he took in their beef, Drake doubled down with threats that had fans side-eyeing him hard. But Pusha T? He wasn't letting that slide for a second. Drake out here playing mob boss again, pulling stunts like he's in a Netflix series. But the internet wasn't buying it. People roasted him for doing all that tough talk while also crying in court, claiming his own label ruined his name after he got washed by Kendrick. Like, what are we even doing, bro? And just when it couldn't get messier, Pusha T and Malice dropped the first Clips album in 15 years. Let the gods sort them out. And it came with major heat. Not just musically, but politically. Because the album includes that Kendrick collab that Def Jam allegedly tried to block. Yeah, they really tried to strong-arm Pusha to remove it. But he stood 10 toes down. And now insiders at PCIA are letting it all spill, claiming Drake's camp allegedly tried to sabotage the entire Clips rollout. Word is,
So what then? So what then, big dog? Don't look away now. Don't look away now. Don't look away now. Don't get shy now.
folks were getting paid to trash the album online without even listening to it. Straight clown behavior. Right before the drop, Pusha jumped on Instagram and posted, "Can't nothing stop this greatness. The lies are very telling. The people will never believe these smear campaigns." And even though he didn't name names, everybody already knew who he meant. The timing said it all. Drake's name been dancing in the shadows of this whole mess. So now fans are asking, why is Drake doing all this? Clips ain't even targeting him, or are they? Over the past few weeks, Drake's fan base has been flooding social media, dragging Clips like it's a sport. They're calling the legendary duo washed up and saying nobody cares about their new album.
Y'all favorite Twitter pages are being paid to slander Clips the week of their album release. Man, I've been waiting to have a conversation with y'all like this for a little minute. So yesterday, Kirko, a famous page on Twitter, posted Clips' upcoming album, Let God Sort 'Em Out, has reportedly surfaced online days before its official release. And they turned their comments off. Now, Kirko has posted like when songs leak and stuff, but usually when big albums are about to come out or albums that people are talking about, like Hurry Up Tomorrow, for instance, The Weeknd's album, leaked a couple days before the album drop, or some songs leaked at least. And they didn't necessarily post it. So I did find out.
Comments everywhere were saying stuff like, Clips should be ashamed, worst rap album I've ever heard. And people were quick to point out, these dudes are almost 50. One user even posted, holy wow, I'm gonna laugh watching people try to hype this up. I'm glad they're flopping. They should stop begging for attention from rappers way more successful than them and just make better music. Others clowned their promo, saying Clips used shameless social media tactics to push an album that's getting buried under Justin Bieber drops, Travis Scott hype, and Drake's wireless weekend appearance. LOL, it's like the opposite of a coke high for them, one viral post joked. A shady nod at Clips' coke rap legacy, and it didn't stop there. Drake fans weren't having Pusha T's smear campaign comments either. One post on X read, there is no smear campaign. No one even cares about Clips anymore.
And for me, at that point, I was like, man, this shit reminds me too much of 2018. Mm-hmm. And reminds me of everything that happened, you know, within that year and a half.
Your battle with Drake.
Right, but I mean, just the censorship of it and the things that, you know, were stopped and halted and verses and so on and so forth. I was like, oh, this is a real.
Hasn't for 4 presidents straight. They're about to start touring and can't even sell 20% of the seats. Reality hit them hard. But while OVO stands are busy throwing shade, Pusha T's fans are flipping the script, saying all this hate is just a cover-up. They believe Drake's camp is trying to distract the internet from the real story, that Drake just dropped another awkward diss track, and the music video is catching heat for all the wrong reasons. So yeah, while everyone's yelling about who's relevant and who's not, Drake quietly dropped a new single over the weekend called What Did I Miss? And let's just say, fans are debating whether he missed the mark again. And here we go again. Drake's back at it, crying about people who switched sides during his war with Kendrick Lamar. He dropped his new track, What Did I Miss?, on the exact 1-year anniversary of Kendrick's Not Like Us. Yeah, that wasn't a coincidence. It was clearly meant to clap back, but it landed with a thud. Instead of sparking buzz, fans dragged him for still playing the victim, even though he's the one who's been throwing shots for months. One person on X said, Drake always plays the victim. He's the fake one. Tried to control who his friends could support. Didn't work, huh? And another added, can y'all finally admit Drake got a victim complex? Every track is a sob story. Even in What Did I Miss?, fans say he's leaning heavy into that martyr role again. Some pointed out how Kendrick already called this behavior out in Euphoria, painting Drake as someone who can't handle real pressure and definitely not cut out for battle rap. Then there's the deeper issue, the ongoing legal drama. Drake's still in a lawsuit with his label, claiming they let Kendrick publicly drag him and damage his image. That includes those serious allegations that made global headlines. Drake says they did nothing to protect him, but people aren't forgetting the controversy. What really made jaws drop, though, was one specific line in his new track. Drake raps, "She might say no to me now, but say yes to me later." Fans were like, what? That kind of line hits way too close to the allegations he's trying to distance himself from. Even if the bar wasn't meant that way, the timing and context? Wild. But the song itself wasn't even the most talked about part. It's the music video for What Did I Miss? That really got the internet clowning Drake like never before. So in Drake's new music video, he's standing alone in his backyard, completely surrounded by guns. And instead of looking tough, fans say he just looks extra. People online are dragging him for going way overboard, calling the whole setup corny, forced, and just plain awkward. The first one to call it out loud? Charlemagne the God on The Breakfast Club. He torched Drake for cosplaying a shooter and trying way too hard to sell this tough guy image. And honestly, Charlemagne wasn't the only one thinking it. Now, of course, Drake's supporters are jumping in to defend the scene, saying y'all missed the deeper meaning. According to them, the guns aren't about violence, they're symbolic. In the video, the weapons are actually pointed at Drake. He's standing in between two snipers, both aimed directly at him. The message? That everybody's coming for him, that he's under attack from every angle, but he's still standing strong, still on business. But not everybody's buying that explanation. Some viewers are saying Drake's still poking the bear, especially with Kendrick. One user on X said, Kendrick's a street dude. He's really about that life. Drake's not. He's pretending, then crying in court that he feels threatened while flashing guns in a video. Another comment lit up online saying, you're in the middle of a legal case, wrapping around loaded weapons, talking about revenge, and then going on live stream talking slick like you want to hurt someone? What are we doing here? It's this constant flip. 1 minute playing victim, next minute throwing threats. That's got people calling out the double standard. And now the convo isn't just about rap, it's about what message Drake's really trying to send. Yeah, Drake fumbled big time on this one. In case you missed it, the latest roast came after a moment from his recent live stream, where he was cruising around Toronto in a box truck, previewing tracks from his upcoming album, Iceman. But while he was out, a group of teens on bikes rode past and shouted the B word at him, quoting, "Not like us." And instead of brushing it off, Drake clapped back, cursing at the kid and saying something like, "You could get shot." But let's be real, nobody felt threatened. The delivery, weak, the energy, all talk. It came off more like a frustrated dad yelling at the neighborhood kids than a serious warning. And fans called it out immediately. Also, it happened in Toronto, which explains why Drake had that heavy local accent going on. But even that couldn't save the awkwardness of the moment. Now let's spin it back to Pusha T, because he is not letting up. Just days before the Clips album dropped, Pusha did an interview with GQ and went straight at Drake. He didn't hold back. Pusha said, "I don't rate him no more. The suing thing? That's bigger than some rap stuff. I just don't rate you. He called out Drake for suing Universal Music Group over Not Like Us, saying it cheapens the whole game. We're rappers. What are we doing with lawsuits and litigation over diss tracks? But it didn't stop there. Pusha also revealed that Def Jam tried to pressure him to ask Kendrick to tone down his verse on the Clips track Chains and Whips. They were worried Kendrick would go too hard on Drake. Again, Pusha said he refused. No edits, no censorship. That's when Def Jam allegedly told him to scrap the song completely. And when he refused that too, they dropped Clips from the label. Pusha broke all this down in a new sit-down with Elliott Wilson, saying Def Jam kept nitpicking Kendrick's bars, trying to kill the track, and the pressure just kept building. But Clips didn't back down. They walked away and inked a new distribution deal with Roc Nation instead. But Pusha T wasn't done airing it out. He brought up how this whole mess with Def Jam reminded him of his 2018 beef with Drake when he dropped The Story of Adidon and exposed that Drake had been hiding a child. In a recent interview with Pop, Pusha explained that right after he released that diss, several of his songs mysteriously got shelved. It felt like he was being punished behind the scenes, all because he went too hard at Drake. Pusha said he tried to move past it, to let it go. But then when Def Jam tried to pull the same stunt with Chains and Whips, he knew something had to be said. This time, he wasn't backing down. And get this, according to Pusha, the label tried to give a strange excuse to remove the track. They claimed it was because he used the term Trump card in the lyrics, and they didn't want any potential problems involving the former president. But Pusha called cap on that real quick. He said that had nothing to do with politics and everything to do with protecting Drake. The real issue? Clips and Kendrick, two of Drake's biggest rap rivals, teaming up on a single track. Now here's where things get even more interesting. Pusha has tried to downplay the meaning of Chains and Whips, claiming it's not even about Drake, but fans aren't buying it. Just the title alone feels like a direct clapback. Why? Because on Drake's track with Jack Harlow, Churchill Downs, he throws clear shots. He raps. All I hear is plug talk coming from middlemen, aimed straight at Pusha. Then he goes, all I hear is tall tales coming from little men, whips and chains like a dominatrix. That second line, definitely aimed at Kendrick. So yeah, Clips naming their collab with Kendrick Chains and Whips feels way too pointed to be a coincidence. The fans see it, the industry sees it, and apparently, so did Def Jam. So now the big question everyone's asking is, what's Drake gonna do next? He's gearing up to drop his new album, Iceman, and while he hasn't locked in a release date yet, he's been dropping major hints on socials that it's definitely coming this year. But what exactly can we expect from Iceman? After Kendrick absolutely dominated the rap beef last year, Drake tried to play it cool, acting like he wasn't bothered. He even dropped that collab tape with Party Next Door, and fans thought maybe he finally found his lane again, sticking to those R&B vibes and melodic rap joints, instead of pretending to be the toughest guy in the room. But fast forward to now, and Drake's right back on his tough talk. He's out here rapping about shooting people, posting up in music videos surrounded by loaded weapons, and now he's tossing out cryptic Instagram captions that hint the beef is far from over. One post had fans doing double takes. Drake wrote, I grew up non-confrontational and always treated this game as a sport where my pen won gold. But these days, the podium has been hard for all of us to ignore. Then he added, I understand this next chapter may leave you feeling uneasy, but I hope you see my honesty as clarity, not charity. That answers some questions, especially about the unanswered texts you've been sending me. Wait, what? Fans are already dissecting every word, wondering who those texts were from and who this next uneasy chapter is targeting. One thing's for sure, if Iceman really is Drake's next move, he's making it crystal clear. He's not ready to let this battle go. Not yet. And with all the smoke he's stirring up, people are watching close to see if this album is going to be heat or just another cold misstep. And if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share to stay in the loop with all the latest tea. Hit that notification bell so you never miss an update, and I'll catch you in the next video.